Hi, my name is Fawn Malone. Thank you for joining our live feed. Thank you for joining the revolution. Today we are going to show you how to do a one color application. The color that we are using today is D as in David 122, which is blissful. And we're going to do essentially several iterations where one nail we are going to use a electric drill, and then another nail we are simply going to use just nail file for nail techs that prefer not to use an electric drill. So as you can see, the nails are prepped, and pretty soon we'll be able to start the dipping application, where we will first apply the first coat of the Pro Base. So when you prep the nails, it's essentially the same as if you're doing gel polish or if you're doing regular acrylic. With dipping powder, it is essentially the same. So the first hand, we're going to use the electric drill just to show nail techs that prefer to use electric drills rather than using a hand file. You want to start off by just removing the shine off the edges. You don't have to do the whole nails. Just cleaning up the cuticle, cleaning off the edges, shaping it. What's nice about dipping powder is you don't need any kind of prep solution or any sanitizer to essentially dehydrate the nails. So the second hand, we are simply going to use hand files. And you're doing essentially the same thing as if you're using an electric drill. Final step should be removing all the dust from your client's nails. If you wish, you can have them wash their hands, but if that's optional. But if you do have them wash their hands, just make sure that you dry the nails. Okay, first we're going to start off with applying the Pro Base. Okay, we are going to start off with turning the powder upside down. What you want to do is you want to shake it a little bit. What that does is it essentially fluffs up the powder and it makes it so that it's easier to dip. So we're going to start off by applying the first coat of the Pro Base. If you notice, when she pulled the brush out of the Pro Base, she used the wiper to reduce the amount of Pro Base that was left on the brush. You don't want to use a lot, because if you do use a lot, you'll get bumps on the nail. So the first thing we're going to do is apply the first coat of the base gel and dip it into the powder right away. And after you pull the finger out, you want to flick the nails to remove any excess powder that's on there. Now you can lightly brush off the excess powder that's on top. So when you apply the second coat of the Pro Base, it's very important that you wipe off the brush before you stick that brush back into the Pro Base bottle, just like that. Because getting excess powder into the Pro Base bottle will start the curing process for the Pro Base. So if you're having problems with your Pro Base getting thick, there's a very good chance that you're getting excess powder back into that Pro Base bottle. So this is the second coat of the Pro Base, and just note how she wipes the brush before she sticks it back into the Pro Base bottle. Okay, after you applied 2 coats of Pro Base and dipped it into the powder twice, we want to apply the first coat of the activator, which is the gray bottle. And when you apply this first coat of activator, you can make sure you use a lot of activator on the nail, because this is what actually starts the curing process. And it's okay to actually get it onto the cuticle. It's not going to hurt the skin. If you're having trouble with lifting from the cuticle area, which I think one of our viewers had, you want to make sure you are getting the cuticle area with activator, because that will make sure that the product is cured on properly. So after applying the first coat of the activator, we're going to go into the second hand, but typically it takes about 1 minute for the activator to cure with the products that you just added. So by the time you come back to the first hand, it's already cured. You can start the filing process to make it smoother and shape the nails. So we are now doing the second hand, and essentially we are doing the same thing as what we did for the first hand. So the first coat of Pro Base, you're going to dip it once, and then after the 5 fingers are done with the first coat, you're going to repeat the process by applying the second coat of the Pro Base and dipping it into the powder again. Okay, now we're going to start the second coat of the Pro Base, and then we're going to dip it the second time into the color. And importantly, we're going to wipe the brush before we put it back into the Pro Base bottle. This will prevent the powder getting back into the Pro Base bottle, which ultimately will start the curing process for the Pro Base. So there was a question from Hillary. Hillary, you were asking us how to use the brush softener. We should have a video uploaded to our YouTube page that shows you exactly how to use the brush softener. So the issue that you're having is that before you actually stick the brush softener brush into the finish gel bottle, you want to make sure that the brush softener is essentially evaporated, the brush is dried before sticking it into the finish gel. If you stick it into the finish gel while there's brush softener in there, you will see that hardening issue that you're describing. So now she's going to apply the first coat of the activator on the second hand. And as I mentioned before, make sure you use a lot of activator on this particular coat because this is the curing process. You notice how she is dipping it back into the activator bottle after every single nails. You want to pick up fresh activator to make sure you have enough before you apply it on a nail. This is critical because this particular step gets the product to start curing and bond to the nail properly. And make sure you get close to the cuticle. Otherwise, if you don't, it's not going to cure properly. So the next step will be filing and shaping the nail. And here you just want to get around the edges, under the nails, to make sure there's no excess dipping powder underneath. And as I mentioned before, we are going to do one hand using an electric drill and one hand using just hand file strictly. And the steps that she's doing right now, you can use a fairly coarse nail file, either 150 grit or 180 grit is fine. And what's important about filing dipping powder is the product is very easy to file. So it's not like acrylic where acrylic is extremely hard to file, and so you could easily, especially if you're using a drill or a coarse hand file, you could easily file off too much product without knowing it. So this hand, we are using a hand file, an electric drill, where we're just smoothing out the top, making sure there's no rough edges. You want to run your fingers across to make sure everything is even before you proceed on to the next step. And if you're using an electric file, just make sure you apply very, very minimal pressure, because using an electric file, you could easily drill off the product without knowing it. This particular color that we're using is D122, Blissful. Revel Nail has 280 colors. Out of the 280 colors, we have 48 of them that are what we call Revel mates, where they have a matching dipping powder and nail polish that goes with it. And in addition to that, out of the 280 colors, we have 48 colors that are what we call mood changing colors. So they change based on temperature. And we also have 24 sun colors that changes color based on if you're inside or outside. So the color will change based on the exposure you are with the outside sunlight. So there was a question from Melissa where she asked, so this is basically the same as having gels or acrylic. Well, basically, dipping powder is it's a hybrid between the two. So dipping powder outlasts gel polish. Gel polish you typically can get 1 to 2 weeks of wear. With dipping powder you can easily get 2 weeks. There have been some people that wear it for over 5 to 6 weeks if you can really withstand the growth. What's different about acrylic is that it's less harmful to your nails. It's easier to remove. With acrylic, you can't soak it off. You essentially have to file it off. And really the only way to remove acrylic is to essentially file off a layer of your natural nails, because there's no such thing as soaking off acrylic. Whereas with dipping powder, it's just as durable as acrylic, but it outlasts gel polish. So Paige asked the question if we're using a fine grit for the electric drill. The answer is yes. You want to use a very, very fine grit for an electric drill. So this hand, we are simply just using hand files, not using drills at all. You do not need to use electric drills with dipping powder because the product is very easy to file. So the final step you should take is take a buffing block, a very fine one, typically 280 or 320. The finer the buffing block, the shinier the finished gel will be. And you just want to make sure that the top of the nail is smooth. So Leah asks, how long should it take to do a set? So typically, when you first start out, you're going to be a little bit slower. But as you get more experience from it, it should only take anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes to do a full set of a single color. Doing a French manicure will take a little bit longer because you're dipping it in, you're creating the smile line with the white and then dipping it into the pink. So you can add another extra 5 minutes for doing a French manicure. But as you get more experience with this, it should take you about 15 to 20 minutes to do a full set of nails without being rushed. I have seen people do it as quick as 10 minutes. So the last step you want to do is you want to feel all the natural nails to make sure that it's smooth. Okay, if it's smooth, you want to remove all the dust particles from the nails. Or the other option that you could do is you can have your client wash their hands with only water. If you do that, just make sure you dry off the nails, the top of the nail beds, before you proceed. So Paige had a question in regards to using a natural sheer powder over 2 color coats. That is an optional step. You can do that. It will give you slightly thicker nails because you're essentially applying it 3 times. So it is optional. You can do 2 colors like what we're showing you, or the other option is the first coat is dipping some kind of a natural or clear before you start applying the 2 color coats. So the next step is applying the second coat of the activator. What you want to do is apply it to all 10 fingers and making sure you cap the front edges, because you are going to apply finish gel to the front edges to prevent lifting and any kind of water penetration from the front edges. So you apply it on all 10 fingers, getting the front edges. And unlike the Pro Base or the finish gel, the activator, if it touches somebody's skin, it's okay. It's not going to hurt them. Whereas the Pro Base, you want to avoid touching the cuticle or the skin because it is a cyanoacrylate glue, which is essentially similar to what Crazy Glue is. But we use a different type of cyanoacrylate glue that's specific for cosmetics. So the second coat of activator is applied to all 10 fingers. What you want to do is wait about 10 seconds. And then the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to take a square piece of paper towel and we're going to dry the nail, and then we are going to apply the finish gel. So here we're just taking a 3" by 3" square paper towel and just gently wiping the top of the nails to remove any kind of wetness to it. This is a good way to essentially eliminate waiting for the activator to dry, and it's also a good way to make your finish gel applications more consistent. So the next step we're going to do is applying the finish gel. So the first coat, notice how she tilts the brush to minimize the amount of finish gel that's on the brush, and then she's also wiping the brush before she dips it back into the finish gel bottle. This is very critical because if you think about it, that first application, when you're doing 2 to 3 quick brush strokes, you're touching activator, and you don't want to put the activator back into the finish gel bottle. So you notice how she's wiping every time that before she sticks that brush back into the finish gel. So the first coat should be 2 to 3 quick brush strokes. You don't have to get close to the cuticle. With the second coat, you can do it slower and you can get closer to the cuticle. And as you can see, every time she sticks it back into the finish gel bottle, she is wiping her brush. Okay, after the first coat is applied, you can either wait about 10 to 15 seconds or you can proceed with applying the second coat. And the second coat, you can get closer to the cuticle, and more importantly, you notice now she is capping the front edges. and she's continuing to wipe her brush before she sticks it back into the finished gel bottle, because you don't want to get any activator into the finished gel. So if you see that your finished gel is getting gooey, there's a very good chance that you're getting activator back into that bottle, or if that bottle is hardening, it means that you're getting activator back into the bottle. And if you're having issues, we will be happy to replace your finished gel. Just send us an email or call us. You can email us at sales@revelnail.com. Krista asks, is it bad to cap twice? You don't need to cap twice. You can just cap the front edge of the nail with the second coat. That's more than sufficient. And what's important about applying the finish gel is applying thin coats for both of them. And one way to do that is you'll see that before she pulls the brush completely out, she uses the wiper and tilts it to regulate the amount of finished gel that's left on the brush. You don't want to leave a lot on the brush, because the more you put it on, the thicker the coat will be, and for the finished gel it's best to apply it thin. So now we've already applied 2 coats of finished gel, and if you did this right, it should take about 1 minute for all the nails to completely dry. So the last step will be applying the cuticle oil after the nails are dried in 1 minute. So we're going to let the nails dry for about 1 minute. I just want to let you know that Revel Nail is going to start doing more live feeds. If there's a particular issue or things that you want to see, feel free to send us a message on Facebook or send us an email, and we will definitely prioritize the videos and the live streams based on what people are requesting. In addition to looking at our live feed, you're more than welcome to look at our YouTube page, where we have posted various videos, and every Tuesday we're going to be posting Tuesday tips and educating people on how to use dipping powder properly. So Hillary asked if you do have to purchase cuticle oil separately. The answer is yes. We do sell it on our website, but it's also okay to use cuticle oil from other companies too. So the nails should be dry right now. We are going to add cuticle oil as the last step, and you just want to rub it in the nails. Okay, we are done. Thank you for joining our live feed, and thank you for joining the revolution.